What's up, guys? We're here at Club Europa for the No Mercy Metal Showcase, and I'm here with a band that caused the most impression to me, so you guys want to feature on Hornstar Rock. But it's because you guys, and it's not the first time I see you guys, you have a very unique blend of metal. It's it's working.
Thanks, man. Yeah, we try to like blend many different influences, like jazz, classical, but like all keep it in that death metal zone at the same time. We're all sort of nerds that way.
Before we forget, let's go around and introduce the whole band. We'll start with you.
I'm Bill, I'm the drummer.
I'm Steve, I do vocals and keyboards.
I'm Chris, I do rhythm guitar.
Craig, I do lead guitar and vocals.
And how did Open Denile come about? Like, would you guys had friends in bands and then unite, or you kind of just like started finding your own people to form a band?
Open Denile pretty much started with that man over there. He's the only remaining member of the old school days, and then he sort of handpicked us from around the scene. I got a MySpace message, for example.
And why did you pick this particular set of guys?
That's a good question. Basically, when everything started out, I had like a main idea of how I generally wanted it to sound. It was kind of like very thrashy and like, just straightforward. Then over time, like the music kind of evolved. Like I wanted like more in the music. So like the ideas like kind of spawned. Like I heard like ideas of like where their bands came from, like Bill and his old band, and Stephen Kane and his in various projects that he's been in. And I said, you know what, I want to incorporate that into our the sound that I have already. So, and then Chris I knew for a while, so he became my left hand in guitar. So, and then from there we just like got together and like the ideas just kept going, and until we're Open Denile.
All right, and I love how people are crossing by. It's so right, it's metal. That's what it is. And one thing that I just said when I went on stage is that it's a very good moment to be into heavy metal. You can call it unsafe because it's like there's a global crisis, but I think it's because people like you us together, we go, I see you at the shows, you know what I mean? We go to the Doves bars, we go
I drank with you multiple times.
It's a family that is like keep growing and growing and growing, and I think that's what's so important about something like No Mercy Metal, and it works two ways. That's what I've always said. With Horse Up, it's the same thing. If it wasn't for you guys, there's nothing to talk about, you know what I mean?
Pretty much. I like to refer to the metal scene as AIDS. Like once you get into it, it just grows, and you tell your friends and they get into it. I mean, there's so many like good bands in the New York scene in specific. Like there's Respawn, The Ancients, Sever, Judas Syndrome. The list just goes on, man. And
it keeps growing.
It keeps growing. Like there's kids like starting up bands, and it's just, I love it.
Like 14, 15-year-old kids doing it, kind of like we all started, you know what I mean? And let's go like around, because I want to be sure everybody gets their second and to talk musically. Why Open Denile? What made you start it? Like, what were you listening to that you said that's what I want?
Oh man, you know what was like my hugest, like two of my hugest band like influences me? That was Arch Enemy and Carcass. Like the harmonies and the brutality of like both those bands were just like what I wanted to capture initially. And then like I also loved like all the like lighter things like I guess Children of Bodom and other things that were like proficiently like guitar playing and keyboards or anything like that. So I wanted to mesh that up at the same time, be very like progressive and have like a lot of elements in it. And like I said, when I first started, it was just straight raw thrash. You listen to a lot of Metallica and all that stuff, and I'm sure that's where everybody their foundation comes from. But like I love it now because we've expanded so much. Like the sound is just so much grander, and it's that to me is very like I love where this band's at right now.
How about you? What were you listening to that got you like into Open Denile today? The sound that you have for the band.
Well, it started out, I was listening to a lot of the old classic thrash stuff like Metallica, Megadeth, whatever, blah blah blah, and I was great friends with Craig and our old drummer at the time named Alex, and I used to go over all the time, and back in the early days it used to be Craig and Alex, and then I played bass for a while, and then that whole thing, it went from there to like a million other lineup changes, and ultimately it ended up in what it was today.
And obviously I know some of your influences because we heard, as I said, we hang out together before, but tell the people in there where you bring it to the band. I mean, obviously vocally, who are your idols? Is it Ozzy? Is it Dio? Is it, who are your guys that you look up to?
I honestly have no vocal influences. Well, I have vocal influences, but no idols. I just sort of picked up vocals because it was needed. My gods are in the keyboard, so to speak.
Who are those gods?
Jordan Rudess, Rick Wakeman, Keith Emerson. I love like progressive rock and shreddy stuff. And of course I love like Ian Johansson from Stratovarius. You gotta have the shred. So I'm sort of the odd guy out, not listening to anything brutal.
I'm gonna just have to interject. Your favorite vocalist is Barry Manilow. I mean, you should respect the Manilow, and I think everyone should know that you're a big Barry Manilow fan. That's important to know.
I don't like Barry Manilow. Maybe I like one or two songs. And one or two songs, and they're not bad.
I mean, it's important. It's good. You gotta respect your lounge artists. They're very important. Richard Cheese, Wayne Newton. You know, gotta get it. Tony Bennett. Come on. There we go.
Frank Sinatra.
Yes, Sinatra, definitely. The Rat Pack.
Well, while you got the mic, what do you listen to?
I listen to all sorts of things. Right now I'm in heavy rotation with Mouth of the Architect, Intronaut, what else? Dysrhythmia. I'm all over the place.
And who was that drummer that you saw and you're like, holy shit, I gotta play drums?
Oh, tons of different drummers. I'm all over the place with that too.
But as far when it comes to the metal,
What's your biggest influences?
Big influences like Mike Portnoy, Brand Deller from Mastodon, Danny Carey from Tool, Gavin Harrison from Porcupine Tree. I mean, I could just go on and on about drummers. Bill Bruford from King Crimson and Yes. Yeah.
Yes, it's awesome.
for anybody out there who hasn't heard or seen Open Denile live, why? I mean, they're listening to it right now. Tell them why they should come see your show, why they should check your websites, why they should support you guys.
Because if you don't, I will come get you.
It's true. It's true.
One by one, right?
Exactly. I will find you. You ever see where Jay and Silent Bob find the people that were talking crap about them? That will happen.
He's very systematic. He's very systematic about it. He's got like a grid. He's got an Excel spreadsheet. It's really brutal though. It's like a brutal spreadsheet. I mean, yeah, it's sick. It's not right.
But the real reason is because we're trying to do something different. We're trying to blend many different elements. A lot of people aren't used to long songs, but we're trying to be dramatic. So come out and join the dramaticism.
If that sounds it up. Forum Club Europa, I want to thank, obviously, again, No Mercy Metal, Team 37, CT, John Wiley, Mike St. Carey, of course, all the sponsors, Reverb Nation, Crank Amplification, Metal Injection, Skull and Bones, SOU, all the people who are supporting Metal Strong. If I forgot anybody, I can fix it later with a graphic or something. Any last words from any of you to your fans out there?
Keep it brutal.
Yeah,